What's up, you guys? Me from Tamim Tech here, back with another video, my second video for YouTube, and I'll be going over the Galaxy S20 Plus and the Galaxy S20 Ultra and putting them through a camera comparison, comparing the two cameras, because there are some minor differences, and some of these differences might be major for you depending how you like to use your camera. The first difference is the sensor size. The S20 Plus has a sensor size that's 1.7 times larger than last year's models, and it contains Sony's one of Sony's sensors. I'm not sure if it's the latest yet. I think the latest is the IMX586, I believe. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But that should be Sony's latest sensor. It's not in this phone, but it is a larger sensor than last year, which should give you, in theory, not even in theory, in fact, it should give you a more natural depth of field, natural bokeh. With the larger aperture 1.8, you should be getting like a really good depth of field with close-up shots and whatnot. The Ultra has an in-house sensor made by Samsung. It's a 108 megapixel sensor, which gives you very crisp, creamy bokeh in the background because of the larger sensor combined with the 1.8. But you do sacrifice the focus plane is more narrow, so images won't be as sharp with close-up shots. One point of focus will be having like a center area in focus, and it'll be sharp and clean, while the edges get more soft. And I did see some fringing in the older updates, but the new one I don't think I see it as much. Another difference is the autofocus system in general. Samsung stuck with dual pixel autofocus in the front camera and the back camera on the Plus, which is great because it stays consistent with focus. It doesn't hunt. It's not as bad as the Ultra, which has been getting a lot of criticism for it, especially being priced at $1,400. A lot of people are saying for $1,400 the phone should be perfect. While no phone will be perfect, I do agree the phone out of the box at $1,400 should perform well. I mean, not perfect, but well. It shouldn't have the amount of bugs that it does. I know Pixels and iPhones have bugs constantly with their cameras, but at least they can focus on the picture, you know? You can't take a picture if it's out of focus. What's the point of having a phenomenal, game-changing camera if it can't even focus, you know? Especially if you're trying to record moments with family and loved ones. If you have children or pets and the camera just can't focus, what's the point, you know? So Samsung did put out an update for it. I have the latest update. I noticed some issues were fixed, but it's still not as good, as consistent as the S20 Plus, which is why I'm choosing to keep this phone. There is an April update coming out soon. If you follow Gregos TV, people that have the April update are still saying that they have focusing issues with the camera, which sucks, but it is what it is. At least Samsung's working on it, trying to stay diligent with their customers about this issue. So without further ado, I'm gonna stop talking and get to the video, get to the pictures, and see what you think. Alright, you guys, Tamim from Tamim Tech here, and I am back with another video doing a camera comparison with the Galaxy S20 Ultra and the Galaxy S20 Plus. Which camera do you think is performing better? Right now I have them going at 4K 60 on the front-facing camera. If you'd notice, it is fixed focus. In daylight it looks great, but in low light it's not that great. Just by looking at the viewfinder, I can tell the Galaxy S20 Ultra is actually doing my natural skin tone. It's got the color accuracy. Color accuracy is way better on the Ultra. If you notice on the Galaxy S20 Plus, it's got like a purple tint to it. It gives my skin a little more flush. But the Galaxy S20 Ultra definitely has my skin color a lot more accurate. Notice HDR in the back. The sky is blown out. It is cloudy today, but the color rendition is pretty good. With accuracy, I would give it to the Ultra because this is my natural skin tone and I don't have like red, pink, saturated skin like this, but I don't mind. They both do pretty well. So now we're gonna test 4K 30 on the front. Alright, now we're doing 4K 30 on the front-facing camera, and it does have autofocus, so if you notice my face is a lot sharper. Color accuracy, again, better on the Ultra. Natural skin color, natural color in general. See the HDR. Looks like the Ultra is handling the sky better when it comes to the HDR. You can see a lot more of the blue, while the skies are more blown out on the Ultra, or the Plus. See the yellow of my Star Wars shirt. They're about the same. Definitely skin tone Ultra for sure. So now we're gonna test 1080p 60 on the front, and that also has fixed focus. All right, 1080p 60 frames per second, fixed focus again. Same story with the HDR. Stabilization is okay. I'll do a slight little run actually. Slight jog. Another slight jog. Running on some rocks. Yeah, stabilization is pretty good. All right, now we're gonna do 1080p for the front. I'm just gonna go over all the different video modes, so that way you guys can compare and contrast all the modes that this camera offers, because there are a lot of features and modes I'm gonna go over with both these cameras. All right, 1080p 30 frames per second. I will not test 720p's. I don't know anybody who tests or takes video with 720p, to be honest. It's not a storage hog like 4K 60, but I mean, no one does 720p. Come on, it's 2020. Anyway, stabilization, little run. Both pretty good at stabilization. It's a little wonky, but same story with the colors and HDR. I mean, in daylight, this is pretty good. I'll show you indoor lighting, and that takes a whole different turn in indoor lighting. But 1080p, 30 frames per second on the front. All right, 4K 60 on the rear camera. We're gonna definitely be testing the autofocus here. Both the front and back cameras on the Ultra have PDF, which is phase detection autofocus, which is not as good as dual pixel, hence why all the autofocus issues. But there's updates coming. The updates for recently were incremental, but the April update apparently still focuses on fixing the focus. So let's see how the Ultra does. So you usually have to tap on the screen and then it'll focus. And then once you unlock the AF, it usually gets better, from my experience. But when it comes to small objects, the Ultra does struggle a bit. And you can see the Plus is not struggling at all. So stuff like that's frustrating. Get the AF off here. Let's test stabilization, because it does have stabilization on 4K 60. So let's give it a run again. Now when you do video stabilization, it does crop in a little more to stabilize the video a little bit. So if you want more in the viewfinder, you got to turn off stabilization. But when you do that, you will lose stabilization. Your videos will jitter a little bit. HDR is handled pretty well on both phones. From my view, the Ultra has the more accurate colors when it comes to the reds that I'm looking at, although with the house, the Plus is more accurate. So they go back and forth, honestly, quality wise. Let's get in here. So the Plus is having no problems here, and the Ultra is struggling a little bit. Tap to focus, and that's the annoying thing. When you have to tap to focus on the Ultra, notice everything stays blurred because you have to unlock the AF, which is kind of annoying. So that's 4K 60 on the rear. 4K 30 on the rear. HDR is good on both. Sky isn't too blown out. Color accuracy, let's see, the Ultra is a bit closer to true life colors. The house isn't that saturated in red, so even with the plants, if it would focus, there it goes. As you notice, the Ultra is still focus hunting. That's stabilization at 4K 30. And one more time. This is social distancing video test in the backyard. 4K 30. 1080p, 60 frames per second. HDR done well on both. Color, same story. See how the focus is on 1080 60 in both cameras. The Ultra struggling a little bit. The Plus does not struggle. Alright, stabilization running on rocks. Boom, boom. The Ultra was shaky a bit. Interesting. So this is showing you all the settings in the phone. Your video stabilization, HDR, your selfie tones. It shows you warm, original, and cool. Pictures as previewed, grid lines, location tags, shooting methods. You have your floating shutter button, which can have the shutter float around. Your voice control, say cheese, capture, shoot, record video. Press the volume key to take the picture, zoom, or control your system volumes. You can record in HDR as well. I just have it on a certain mode where you can't see things, but smart selfie angle, like I said in my review for the Ultra, you know, 2 people, the camera recognizes 2 people and make the frame wider so it can fit everybody in. Scene optimizer I turn off so that way I can have the most natural color picture without Bixby fixing things and tuning it to its own liking. Shot suggestions pretty much tells you how to angle your camera. You have save raw copies and HEIF files, which makes pictures take up less storage. So yeah, those are your options there. And then you do have the ability to record in HDR10 Plus, which I think you can only do in 1080p. So let me see if changing the settings does that. That's the front. Regular full HD. Yeah. So regular full HD, you can record HDR10 Plus, and I'll show you an example right now. So I am recording in HDR10 Plus at 1080p. Video stabilization is still on. It'd be cool if you could do this with 4K. I don't know if like future software updates will do that, but hopefully you can get some more color accuracy or vibrant colors. You'll be able to edit HDR10 Plus on whatever video editor you use to get the colors that you want out of your phone. But this is not supported on all areas. YouTube would support it, but other media players may not support the HDR10 Plus, so you may get like washed out colors. But that's just because you're able to like do more with the pictures, like having a raw photo and being able to retain all that dynamic range and do what you want with it. So this is HDR10 Plus. Alright, so now I'm going to be showing you guys some side-by-side comparisons with the Galaxy S20 Plus and Galaxy S20 Ultra. Check out the pictures and let me know what you think in the comments below, which phone took the better photos. Alright guys, that's it for my video. Hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more. Hit that bell icon so you get notified for my next video. I'll be doing more reviews on the S20 Plus and just covering some more tech stuff. Peace.